And early Sunday afternoon. So I've come out and I've poured plaster to fill in the base of the stream, to kind of get it up to where it needs to be for when I add in the material. So I've got that in. I've added another little block of plaster for more rock outcrop. Over on this side, I've also put in plaster and have carved. I still have to take the wire brush to it and then clean up the little plaster nubblies, get rid of those, and I'm ready to start doing scenery. Only problem I have is it is still a rainy day in Richmond. So it's not been raining heavy. My dirt pile is fairly big. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna dig and see if I can't find some dry material that I can sieve so that I can start having some fun this afternoon. We'll know here in a little bit. Well, mid Sunday afternoon, and it is a wet day in Richmond. But I was able to get outside and actually under the shed, I was able to find a lot of dry material and sieved it. So I am ready to move on here. I have my stain and paints already added, and I've already come back in with the paper towels and dabbed it off. I've got an ugly brown base coat in where I'm going to be putting the gravels. You can still see stain is wet on some of the things that I've put in. This little rock here, I'm going to make it a little bit darker to kind of match up with the other rock, but that'll come a little bit later. I'm going to get some of the other stuff in and then I'll come back and weather that. But I am ready to add ground details and the stream bed. So that's what's coming up next. All right, about an hour later, I have the basics in for the stream bed. Now everything is very wet. I have sprayed it all with isopropyl alcohol, a few spritzes, and then come back in with dilute glue. So once it dries, it will dry to a lighter color. Just right now everything is saturated with glue to kind of hold the stuff down. Once it's dry, I will come back in and then add a little bit more on top just to kind of even up tones and make everything look similar to the creek bed on the other side of the main trestle. But what I can do now is I can come in and I can finish the ballast on the lower track. And I could actually start putting in trees, and I think y'all know that I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to spend a little time this afternoon doing a few other things around the house, and then come back out. But this scene should be in pretty good shape by the end of the day. You can kind of see how this low trestle looks, kind of going over that wider part of the creek with a lot of rock in it. The area that is in the front of the camera field right here, I will put some blue painter's tape across here once this all sets, and I will then build this up so that it matches the height that I'm getting under the trestles. Otherwise, right now, if you look at it, you can see this is kind of the high area here going off, and then it goes low, so the water would flow back towards me if I leave it this way. So I won't. I'll tape a bridge, build it up so that it's probably about another fingertip high, so about where my finger is now, just right in here. And I purposely did that because I didn't want a big mess on the floor. That'll come a little bit later. Probably not today. Like I said, I'm going to let the glue dry before I do that, but that will happen fairly soon. So the next video clip on this one, I should have vegetation well on its way in this area after I get the ballasting in. So it is now late Sunday evening. Just about ready to wrap it up for the day, but I got a lot done. So let's pan over and see where I'm at. So a bunch more trees added. Surprise, surprise on that one. I always like adding trees. Glue is still wet, so the river and stream basin is still a work in progress. I've been adding trees and more trees and underbrush and more trees coming across. You can see how the lower level main line goes under the bridge, over the bridge, then the grade crossing, then over to the Purina Mills facility. Bringing us up, I can see how I've got the gully and the rock formations on this side. I've got it where that train, when it pops out of the tunnel, is going to go through that little bit of a cut and be sided by trees and then come out onto the trestle. Now, I was kind of careful to make sure I didn't get trees too close to the trestle, because I'm pretty sure in prototypical railroads they would keep those trees cut back. So I made sure I had some space along there. And then more ground cover and growth up along the side. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this scene is turning out. Now, I still will have to come back in. Like I said in the last segment, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to tape it, and then I'm going to finish this piece off, elevate it. Then I'm going to look at it and just kind of see how I want to do this. I'm thinking of trying to add like a little water feature here, just some stagnant water, just like what I'm going to do on the lower end of this gully, is to put a pond down at the end there before it makes the right-hand turn. Thinking maybe doing something similar where I've got an area where I can put in a little bit of standing water using epoxy, and we'll just see how that looks. But anyway, that is going to be it for this segment, and run some trains.